Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an episode of You Are Not Entertained. My name is Tommy Haley. I was going to do an intro, but I couldn't think of anything. Actually, I could. I was going to be like Ric Flair. I was going to retire. That was my last match, but it's like how like in Obi-Wan where the Grand Inquisitor is like, the Jedi Code is like an itch. It must be scratched. I gotta scratch that itch, and it is aching, and I'm aching, and it is aching to be scratched, and I'm scratching right now. Either way, welcome back to We Are Not Entertained. It's been a good, 12 days since I last recorded. I believe that was SummerSlam, but it's been almost 2 weeks since Triple H has taken over creative and all that stuff. I have a pay-per-view for ROH I need to talk about, and then I'll cover certain things that I want to talk about. So, like I said with the Ric Flair thing, I want to talk about the Ric Flair thing again. Ric Flair's last match. I get it. It was supposed to be his last match, but remember the last time he had his last match? It was against Shawn Michaels. Look, I love Ric Flair as much as the next person. Has he done some messed up things? Yeah, we kind of have. Yeah, allegedly. I mean, there's some stuff that allegedly happened. Will I put it against him? No, the man survived a plane crash, and look what he did after he survived a plane crash. So there's all that. Rewatching this match. I mean, I get it. When we first saw the video of Ric Flair in the ring with Jay Lethal, like practicing with Jay Lethal and all that, it was like, yeah, cool, he can still wrestle and all that. Although the fact that looking back, it's like, we should have really been worried. To be fair, he is 73 years old. He's 73 years old. So it's not like you were going to see the Ric Flair of old. I mean, to be fair, it was just downright almost embarrassing. Almost like his TNA run, or his Impact run. As much as I hate to say it, that was kind of just a thing. But then again, he was in some financial troubles during that time, so he kind of needed the money. But looking back, really, I actually sat down and watched this match. It was 27 freaking minutes. 27 minutes. 27 minutes. And he also passed out twice during it because, Ric Flair's got to dye his hair red, usually. Look. I love Ric Flair, but just don't do something that you're gonna regret. Like I said, he passed out twice during the his final match. Twice. I was just so sad watching that entire match. Like, I watched the whole thing. I was not on my phone. I wasn't being distracted by anything. I sat down and watched the whole thing. Was it a technical 5-star class? No. It never was going to be. It was never going to be that. It was a impromptu 2-on-1 handicap match because Andrade did most of the stuff for, Ric Flair, because, Ric Flair's 73 fucking years old. And, there's that. But just stay retired. Just please. Please. Now, I'm bringing this back up again because I also like to take note that he also had a foot injury. He also had a foot injury during this match. Or he was coming into the match with a foot injury. So, I just please stay retired. Although that's not going to happen because I guess he's going to be wrestling again in Costa Rica. No, where is he wrestling again? I pulled up an article. It says this. Flair started his podcast. Obviously, then he passed out twice due to dehydration. Not surprising. So here's a little excerpt from this article. It says, Flair also said on his podcast that he wished that he didn't say it was his last match, and he was asked about wrestling in Puerto Rico this past weekend. This past weekend being, I don't know what day this article came out. Oh, 2 days ago. This article came out 2 days ago, as of recording this. Flair got physical with his old nemesis Carlos Colon, but he did not actually wrestle. On Twitter, Flair hinted that the next time he does something big, he will make sure to stay hydrated. Just please stay retired. Please. I don't want to have to deal with that again. Like, that was just downright... it was depressing. Like, it was just straight up depressing watching that for 27 minutes. That went on, and I still can't believe this went on 27 minutes. That went on way longer than it should have. Way longer. Way longer. But I digress. So let's go back to WWE. And it's been about... If this goes out on a Monday, it'll be a day before almost a baker's dozen days since Triple H has been head of creative for WWE. So I want to look at... I'm just thinking, like, he's brought back... Bayley is finally back. He brought back Dakota Kai, Io Shirai. I'm not calling her Io Sky. It just... Is it a better name? No. Io Shirai just makes so much... I just like Io Shirai better. Just so much better. You know, Io Shirai's back. He turned Becky Lynch back. I mean, we're getting the man... Becky Lynch, the man again, so they're turning her face again, which is a good idea. Who else? He brought back Karrion Kross with Scarlett, I might add, which is a huge W by Hunter, if I do say so myself. He also brought back this past Monday, not this upcoming Monday, but the past Monday. Apparently, Dexter Lumis is back because which is crazy to think. It's like, look, the people that are... This is what WWE should have looked like when NXT 2.0 started, is that all the talent from the Black and Gold brand are finally on the main roster, and we finally get to see them shine on the big stage. Granted, I get NXT has been on national television for a while now, or since what, 2019, I think? They've been on national television? But like the black and gold superstars like Tommaso Ciampa, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, and like just to name a few and all that. Oh, by the way, I did see bits and pieces of SmackDown last week. We are getting NXT Shayna Baszler. We're getting Shayna fucking Baszler. Not the Vince McMahon not Shayna Baszler. We're getting Shayna Baszler. We're getting the Elimination Chamber Shayna Baszler, which I am 1,000% down with. See, here's the thing with Triple H. As much as I hate to say it, like him having the heart stuff, I get he lost NXT. That was his babe. That was literally his and Shawn Michaels' baby. I get that he lost it and all that stuff. It's running fine right now, but it's nice to see that he is bringing back certain talent that he trusts when he was head of creative during NXT's golden days. Also, it is also there's stuff around. I didn't see if Sean Ross confirmed it, but there's stuff saying that Sasha Banks and Naomi are returning. I think I already said this like 5,000 times before. I think I've said this before. I think I said it last week. I don't remember it, but I'm going to say it again. They could be returning sooner or later. I don't know when. Probably after, Clash at the Castle in Cardiff. Or who knows? Maybe they actually come back during that pay-per-view, which would be cool to see. I think that's when the finals are for the women's tag team tournament. I think. Yeah, no, actually, I think I could be. I'm probably wrong on this, but that's when the finals are. So that's interesting. That would be interesting to see. That'd be the funny thing to do. They could just do the CM Punk John Cena thing. Remember when CM Punk left with the title and all that? They gave it back to Cena, and then CM Punk returns with the title, and then you have two titles. So it's like, oh, who's the actual one true undisputed champion? So all that kind of stuff, which would be not gonna lie, that would be very interesting to see. That would be very cool to see them do that. But it goes to the fact that, Triple H is bringing back all this talent. It goes to the matter, like, who else is he going to bring back? Or who else do I think he can bring back? Well, for one, I feel like he's going to bring back Johnny Gargano. Now, not just Johnny Gargano, Johnny and his wife, Candice LeRae. It would be very nice but here's one thing that they need to do. I get that they're married and all that, and the stuff that they did before NXT went all 2.0 and stuff like that. Just separate them. I get it. Some of their stuff during the pandemic stuff was pretty cool, was pretty funny and all that stuff, but it would be nice to see them, be their separate ways in separate storylines, not together. It worked, it somewhat worked during NXT. I mean, granted, during like the heyday between him and the blood feud between Tommaso Ciampa and him. I mean, Candice did get involved. I think did get involved. I don't remember. That was so long. That was like so long ago when that happened. But it would be It would be nice to see. And Johnny has said recently that he wants to come back, but he's in no rush. But it would be nice to see, but knowing Triple H, Johnny Gargano is definitely coming back to WWE. I don't think he goes to AEW because Johnny has stated that he trusts Triple H and all that, so he's kind of a WWE for lifer. But yeah, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, would love to see them back. Another person that a lot of people aren't really talking about, even though he signed with New Japan, Jonah, or also known as Bronson Reed. Yes, Bronson Reed. He's in New Japan right now under the ring name Jonah. Wouldn't it be nice to see sooner or later, depending on when his contract expires with New Japan, how cool that would see to bring him back to WWE. I mean, he was a North American champion in NXT. I mean, he was part of like the Black and Gold brand, which would be really cool to see. That's just me talking. That would be really cool to see Bronson Reed back in WWE. But I mean, he's doing fine right now in New Japan. So who knows? That's someone I personally would like to see. Another one would like to see. I mean, Twitter would go insane if this happened. I guess Bray Wyatt. Look, I get it. I get Wyndham Rotunda is doing absolutely nothing right now, and he doesn't really need to do anything. I mean, if he doesn't want to come back, that's all. Hey, I'm fine with that. I don't care. Of course, Twitter is gonna go up in flames that he's not ever, if he doesn't ever return, because every single. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Friday, or a day of a pay-per-view. His name is always freaking trending on Twitter. Always. Always. I can guarantee you that Bray Wyatt's name will be trending on Monday. I guarantee it that he will be trending for no apparent reason at all. Other than, it's Bray fucking Wyatt. Which, speaking of Bray Wyatt, there was something I read the other day, or I watched the other day, from a Cultaholic video. It was a Cultaholic news video, and it talked about, like, him saying Vince had no idea how to book The Fiend. And it's like, I mean, that's like the least surprising thing. Like, he was so done with it that he just didn't know how to book it. I mean, yeah, look at what happened. Look at what happened. That stuff with Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss was, like, not the best stuff. But, like, just a wasted opportunity. And I'll just leave it at that because everyone always talks about Bray Wyatt being a missed opportunity, as Universal Champion, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. The list can go on and on. Being hit with a sledgehammer for God, I'm not, nope, that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about. Bray Wyatt, obviously, I guess. If he doesn't want to wrestle, that's fine. Cool. Whatever. Speaking of people he returned, this past Friday on SmackDown, actually, a certain group returned without their leader. We're talking about Hit Row. One of the most popular like groups when it was introduced with Swerve and all that in NXT. Now, I'll say this. I'm glad that they are back because that group as a whole was fucking awesome. That was just with Swerve. Is it going to be weird that Swerve isn't there? I mean, yes. But is he doing fine right now in AEW? Yeah. Are they going to lose are him and Keith Lee going to lose the tag team titles to FTR? I mean, yeah. Fucking duh. That's not me being an FTR mark. That's just a fucking... That's not even... It's just a straight up spoiler. Like, I already know that please, I swear if they do not have FTR win these belts, I'm going to be so pissed. Of course, I can't punch my TV because I think I have to work that day. I think I have to work that Sunday. So, work is technically doing me a favor and not breaking my fucking TV out of rage. So, there's that. I mean, yeah, but still though, it's nice to see Hit Row back. It really bolsters the tag team division because, let's be honest here. I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing Street Profits versus the Usos, the Mysterios versus the Usos, then all that the New Day versus the Usos. Like, come on, like let's get some fresh blood in here. All right, get some fresh fish in here. And Triple H I gotta give Triple H credit where credit's due. It's gonna be interesting now. By the time, here's another thing. Whenever Randy comes back, whenever Cody comes back, it's going to be even more interesting to see what Triple H does with Cody Rhodes when he comes. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Cody Rhodes when he comes back now that Triple H is head of creative. I'm going to say some very good things probably because, look, when Roman came back and did the Tribal Chief stuff, I loved it. And I still like it to this day. But it's just... What's the word? I wouldn't say it's getting stale, but it's starting to get there. I get it. He's still over with the crowd and all that. And there's no denying that. There's absolutely no denying that he is still over like Rover with the crowd. He's one of the top merch sellers in WWE. Still, I think. One of the top merch sellers in WWE. I mean, hell, I have his needle mover shirt, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not even lying. I seriously have I have his needle mover shirt. So, it's there's no, he's like a top merch seller. He's like the main event. He's the guy. He's literally the guy. So, but it's almost like kind of being like, okay, we need the title to at least change hands once because we're getting a Brock Lesnar situation with these two freaking with the belts. Because remember, when Brock Lesnar had the Universal title back 5 years ago, which is fucking insane to say, back in 2017, 2018, God, it's so crazy that was 4 and 5 years ago, where he was basically where WWE's like, yeah, we want you to wrestle this event. Nope, not gonna do it. But nope, not doing it. But if, like I said a couple weeks ago or a month ago, I don't remember when I did this, but I remember I talked about Roman Reigns having a insanely relaxed schedule to what he had the previous redone contract or redone schedule that he had, and it was very lax and very laid back than what it used to be. You got to put the title on someone else if he's not going to be as active as he was in previous years. You just got to do it. Now, if Cody doesn't tear his pectoral muscle, does the title chain, is the match at SummerSlam Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed title? Yeah, more than likely, yeah. Or does this happen? Cody is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Cody cashes in. Cody does what Seth did at WrestleMania, make it the heist of the century, make it a triple threat match, pin Brock Lesnar clean, because I know Roman's not going to do the job, and have Cody be the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, whatever it's called, the undisputed champion in WWE. Yeah. But since he tore his pectoral muscle, I feel like that kind of stopped everything, because they were giving him they didn't put one rocket on Cody. They put 2 rockets on Cody, and they're like, all right, you're going to Mars. They just pushed him to the They just pushed him to Mars, literally. Usually pushing him to the moon is the correct term, but this time they pushed him to Mars because he's an ex-WWE guy. He made his... if you listen to his song, it's basically a fuck you to WWE, and he's like, fuck you, I did this on my own, without your help. Now I'm back, and I'm using this song as a fuck... It's kind of a fuck you. But, yeah, I feel like Cody would be the champion right now, and we wouldn't see Roman for a bit. Would we see him back by the Royal Rumble? Yeah, probably. Or Survivor Series? Maybe. Or at this one at Cardiff. We're seeing him against Drew McIntyre, which I really hope that they buck the trend of, when wrestlers are technically near their hometown or in their hometown, they always fucking lose. I really hope they reverse that and they give Drew the win. That way, Roman can take as much time off as he needs to. He can come back in, I don't know, fucking November or January, whenever he decides, whenever he feels like it. Ugh, words do not work correctly, yes. And, we have Drew with the belts for a while in front of a live audience again, because remember, when he won the WWE Championship, it was during a pandemic. So it was kind of hard to say, well, was he really a good champion? I would say yes, but did it suck that his WrestleMania moment was taken due to a freaking pandemic? Yes. I would have loved to see him win in front of I would love to see him win a championship in front of a main big money championship in front of a live crowd. And I really hope at Clash at the Castle that they do this. Will I be reviewing this? I think I have to work the day of the pay-per-view. I don't know. I have to double check myself. But I think I won't be able to watch it because I have to work. If not, I will be reviewing. I will be talking about what happened during Clash at the Castle, all that stuff. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have Ring of Honor to do. I should probably do that. So, I obviously missed some stuff. And by missing some stuff, I mean, so, when I put out the stuff about Ric Flair's last match, all that stuff, the SummerSlam one, it was the next week I was going to do Death Before Dishonor. Brock's Death Before Dishonor. Let me say that, because ROH's pay-per-view was obviously named Death Before Dishonor. I remember showing that to Brock, and he's like, all right then. And I'm like, that's the name of your pay-per-view, isn't it? He's like, yep. And I'm like, okay. So here is Brock's version of Death Before Dishonor. We start with a recap of how we got to this point, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Show intro, we show the crowd, and then we cut to Kevin Kelly and Matt Striker as they welcome us to the Ritz? It's Ritz. I'm just going to say Ritz, because that just sounds easy. That's easier to say. The Ritz Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. We start off with the ROH Women's Championship. Serena Deeb versus Jamie Hayter. Dishonor joined Deeb at ringside, minus Quinn McKay and Dak Draper. They make Hayter uneasy as the match goes along. Hayter has the technical edge over Deeb for a while until Deeb kicks into another gear and Hayter busts Deeb's lip. The blood from her lip seems to wake Deeb up from there, and Deeb outclasses Hayter. As Deeb picks up Hayter's knees and right arm, Deeb continues to just toy with Hayter until Jamie hits the Haterade. It's a lariat. Deeb is knocked out 1, 2, 3. Jamie Hayter wins. She runs around the ring. The fans celebrate until the ref tells her Deeb's foot was not on the rope. Or Deeb's foot was on the rope. The match is restarted, and while the ref is checking on Deeb to continue, Quinn McKay shows up and locks a Tangerine Dream, it's a Cobra Clutch, in and makes Hayter pass out. Deeb gets up, picks Hayter up, and hits the detox for the win to retain her ROH Women's Champion. Quinn comes in, raises her hand, and then stares at the ROH Women's Championship. Oh, ooh, interesting. We then cut back to David Finlay and says he will be at Gateway to Honor in St. Louis and that Ring of Honor will feel his path of destruction. Now, I'd like to take note that Brock put the picture, like the stuff of, how, match 1, match 2, and all over the fucking place. So I have to really quickly find match 2. Where the fuck is match 2? Here we go. Match 2. We then go to Varsity Blondes versus the Workhorsemen. The two teams go back and forth. During the match, Matt Striker makes an interesting point that Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson have not fought each other throughout this rivalry. When either is in the ring, both men refuse to tag in. This comes to head when JD Drake tries to tag Anderson in, but Brock refuses. This leads to Pillman tagging in Garrison, where Drake and Garrison start brawling on the outside of the ring. Anderson and Pillman go to the outside and grab their partners and throw them into the ring. The whole time they stare the other down. Finally, they both tag into the match and come face to face. Pillman smiles at Brock and hits a drop kick to Garrison. Brock looks at Pillman and smiles as he hits Drake with a spine buster. We hear Tessa Blanchard's theme play as she and Tully walk down the ring. Brock and Brian look at her and smile. A group hug in the middle of the ring follows as the fans look confused. All three leaving the ring, Arn, Tully, and Julia Hart at ringside. The match ends in a double countout. Backstage, Brian Zane catches up to them and asks, Tessa, what did we just witness? Tessa looks at the camera and simply says, a great moment, and the best is yet to come, Zane. I wrestle next. Tessa walks out with Brock and Pillman Jr., where she looks at them and points at the ring. They rush to the ring to clear it out for Tessa's match. Tessa has a smirk on her face the whole time as she walks down the ring. She looks at the stage and awaits her opponent. It's Jordynne Grace. Grace shows off her power as Tessa shows off her wrestling prowess. This is match 3, by the way. Tessa Blanchard versus Jordynne Grace, which in real life, I would actually like to see this match because that match would actually fucking be ridiculously good. Either way, neither gain control of the match as they counter the other's strengths. Grace looks at the ramp and waits for someone to come down. Rachel Ellering comes down to ringside. This is Jordynne Grace's tag team partner, by the way. The match continues as both struggle to put the other down as Grace is too big for Tessa to hit the Diamond Maker and Grace can't put Tessa down for the count. Grace goes running into the ropes when Rachel grabs her leg. Tessa takes the advantage and hits a running facebuster, followed by the Diamond Maker for the win. Rachel looks at Tessa and smiles as she gets in the ring. Pillman Jr. hugs her first, followed by Anderson. Tessa looks at her and says on the mic, welcome to the winning team. All of them look at each other, holding up fours. Nice. Very nice with the 4 horsemen right there. Very, very nice. A video package plays showing the battle between Dishonored and Ring of Honor. We have match 4, Dishonored versus the House of Truth. Dishonored comes out with Draper, who has a mic. Draper says tonight will be the death kneel for Ring of Honor, and it will be a death by dishonor. But before these 3 great men go into that ring, I thought that you, the fans, would like to know who has been under the mask these past few months. I will start with the man on my right, a man who has been on Ring of Honor TV for years, but hasn't gotten a real chance at this in this company. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Tracy Williams. The next man is Tracy's tag team partner, Josh Woods, and finally the first masked man, the one who started this whole mess, as our glorious commissioner would say, a man that Jonathan Gresham really abandoned when he became ROH Championship. The first masked man is Brian Johnson. This is who Dishonor has been at the war that has been waged, is the one that could have been avoided if we were given our due respect. Dishonored await the House of Truth. The House of Truth theme plays as Calvin Tankman, Jay Lethal come out. Lethal has a mic in his hands that says, well, that's pretty formidable tag there, Deck. And you know we're at a man disadvantage, or so I thought. You see, this weekend I was in Nashville, Tennessee for a little show that I was in the main event for. And you hear woos and all that stuff from the crowd. And I met the perfect man for this match. Fans get restless when they hear a guitar riff. It's Jeff Jarrett. It's Double J. The House of Truth faces Dishonored in a fantastic match. So good. In fact, words cannot describe it. The House of Truth looks to have the match won when Lethal is setting Tracy up for the lethal injection when Quinn McKay and Serena Deeb rush down the ring. Deeb distracts Jarrett while McKay blows... when McKay low blows Tankman. I almost read that so wrong. Lethal looks over at this and starts to grab McKay. The ref sees Lethal pulling his hand on a woman and stops him. As the ref goes to help a crying McKay out of the ring, Draper comes out and hits the Draper bomb on Lethal. Tracy tags Josh Woods and then hits the fracture on Lethal for the win. Dishonored had defeated the best Ring of Honor has to offer. Draper and the rest of Dishonored roll out of the ring, and Quinn McKay grabs the mic from Brian Zane and says, "Sorry, Zane, but I get my old job back." I would also like to apologize that I did not know who Quinn McKay was. I forgot that, it's been a while since I actually watched Ring of Honor. I knew that she was from Springfield, but I would like to apologize. I forgot to, someone was a little mad that I didn't know who that was. You know who you are, Mr. Gordon. She says, "Sorry, Zane, but I get my old job back when it comes to interviewing Dishonored. The one you stole from me." She turns to Brian Johnson, Josh Woods, and Tracy Mills and asks, "What a gutsy win, gentlemen, and you did it with such grace and style. Can I get a prediction for tonight's main event?" All three say that Draper will win the ROH Championship. McKay looks at Deeb and says, "Miss Deeb, you pulled off an incredible win earlier tonight over some overmatched competition. Who is next in line for your title?" Deeb looks as she's thinking and says, "No one, because no one is on my level, just like no one is on Dak's level." Dishonored laugh and head to the back. Backstage, we see Tessa. I believe this is the back. Backstage, we see Tessa, Rachel, Pillman Jr., and Brock looking at the TV, and we hear Tessa say, "Tonight was just the beginning on ROH TV. We'll be heard." I hope I am going correctly. Okay, no, I'm on track. Okay. It's just that the way he sent it to me, it was just, out of place. There were certain places out of place, so I gotta, scroll through each one. So, we go back to match 5. It's for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. The Kingdom comes out of the ring in white and gold gear. Taven gets the mic and says, "When you're as successful as we are, you've got to dress the part of the best in the company." And of course, you know the deal. The crowd says it with him. "When you come at the Kingdom, you best not miss, or you will bow to the Kingdom." The Kingdom waits its opponents. A whip cracks, and out comes Dutch Mantell, who has a mic and says, "I'm so glad that you think the way, gentlemen, because just so it happened, I have a brand new tag team awaiting in the back, ready to come out and beat you into a bloody pulp. And they are as rough and as rugged as they come." Some familiar music start to play as Dutch looks like he's going to reveal who it is. And out comes Jim Cornette, of course. I know Brock was waiting to put Cornette in ROH. I know it. I know it too. And I know he's going to be on here for a while. I hope. Who says, "Now, Dutch, you know how much I respect you and care about you. However, I also have a team in the back that is ready to rip these two a new one. And you and I both know that we can't both have our teams face them here tonight." Matt Taven says, "Yeah, hi. What are you two dinosaurs out here? What are you two dinosaurs doing out here right now? This isn't some convention. This is an actual show with wrestling and real stars, unlike you two. Be careful. One of them has a tennis racket. Be very careful." Dutch looks and Cornette says, Tell you what, Corny, I'll let your boys have a shot at the tag titles after mine get one and we let." Dutch whispers in Jim's ears. Jim's eyes get big and says, "By golly, that's a great idea, Dutch. Gentlemen, we may see you another time, but first, you must beat these men here tonight." The Von Erichs come down the ramp. The two teams have a clinic in tag wrestling as the Von Erichs use speed and strength to keep the Kingdom off balance. Taven looks to have to have things turn around when Marshall nails him with a spinning lariat out of the corner. Bennett gets in two to try and stop the cover when Ross nails him with a drop kick from the second rope. Maria tries to stop the Von Erichs when Lacey Von Erich comes down and starts to put a whooping on her. Soon all of them are in the ring, and the Von Erichs all put claw holds on the Kingdom. The Kingdom hold on until the bell rings. The Von Erichs release the claws and celebrate in the middle of the ring with many tears being shed. The ref picks up the tag titles, but instead of giving them to the Von Erichs, he hands them to the Kingdom. When Bobby Cruz announces that this championship match has gone to a 30-minute time limit draw and Ooh, interesting. This match has gone to a 30-minute time limit draw and still your ROH Tag Team Champions, the Kingdom. The Von Erichs are pissed as the Kingdom limps to the back with their titles in tow. Interesting. All right, and we're back. So, as we left off, we are now backstage as we see Draper and Gresham in their locker rooms preparing for the main event. As we get to see Draper come out from his locker room with all Dishonored. As Draper comes out, he is seen carrying the ROH TV title, but he soon hands it off to Quinn McKay, who he makes out with before they step out from behind the curtain. He comes to a massive chorus of boos. Oh, come on. That's a Tommaso Ciampa thing. As Kevin Kelly explains, folks, you may be wondering, and no, don't adjust how you are watching this show. Dak Draper has no music as the entirety of the Ring of Honor staff are boycotting working when he is coming out here tonight due to the heinous actions he has done the past few weeks. Oh, okay. It's not a Tommaso Ciampa where he's just not being a being a big asshole and just be like, no, you're not getting no music. Draper and Dishonored are showered with trash of all sorts. It seems as if some fans came in with a week's worth of trash, as Matt Striker puts it. Draper stands in the ring as we see Gresham's fight camp. Jay Lethal, Calvin Tankman, Chris Hero, Christopher Daniels, and Shane Taylor. Gresham gets a massive standing O as the conquering hero. He comes out onto the ramp and holds up the ROH championship as Pyro goes off behind him. He looks at the ROH on the wall in the center and goes up and kisses it. Main event time. Dak Draper with Dishonored versus Jonathan Gresham with the House of Truth for the ROH Championship. Draper, looking as cocky as ever, refuses to shake Gresham's hand at the beginning of the match, drawing tons of boos. Gresham nods when the bell rings. He comes out of the gates hot with a double leg takedown and raining down punches on Draper to the delight of the fans, who come unglued. Draper gets the upper hand when Gresham misses a running clothesline in the corner as Draper catches him with a reverse neckbreaker. The two go to war with the whole match, as the crowd hangs on to every punch, slam, and kick. Dishonored tries to get involved when the House of Truth stops them, but Quinn and Deeb, as they go, you can't put your hands on a woman, to the roar of a crowd, out come Allie and Anna Jay to chase them off. The whole of the ROH roster comes down the ring. Instead of fighting each other this time, they are only concerned with making sure that Dishonored stays away from the ring. The ROH roster is led by Jarrett, who El Kabong's Tracy Williams as he tries to get close to the ring. Dishonored have no choice but to watch from the ramp as Draper looks on in complete dismay. He soon nails a big boot on Gresham. The fans and the roster will Gresham on, as do Kelly and Stryker on commentary. Gresham starts to mount a comeback with every punch. The entirety of the arena is filled with cheers from fans and wrestlers alike. A massive "Let's Go Gresham" chant starts as he starts to roll with forearms, chops, and a drop kick to finally take Draper down. The place is at a fever pitch when Gresham walks in the octopus stretch. Quinn McKay can be heard crying from the ramp as she looks on. Draper falls to a knee, and as fate would have it, that's enough to reach the ropes. Gresham breaks the hold when he stops and looks around him at the fans and gets a massive smile on his face. Heads to the top rope, and as he goes for a 450 splash. Draper rolls out of the way as he goes for a Draper bomb. Gresham hits the Frankensteiner out out of into a cover. 1-2, Draper kicks out. Gresham then puts a figure 4 on Draper, who is in the middle of the ring. Draper struggles to fight out of it as he tries to go towards the ropes, but Gresham stops it. Draper tries to roll over to reverse pressure, but Gresham stops that. Out of all options, and with fear and desperation in his eyes, Draper spits in Gresham's face. Gresham is blinded enough by this to let Draper get out. Draper hits a Draper bomb. 1-2. Gresham kicks out. The place erupts. Another Draper bomb. Another kick out. Gresham starts to hulk up, and Draper, who looks like he's out of ideas, begs off Gresham. Gresham picks him up and starts to slap him around. Draper, when he wakes up from this and starts to batter Gresham, finally ending his onslaught with a pile driver. Cover 1, 2, 3. The arena goes silent. Dak Draper has won the ROH championships with 28 seconds to spare. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. The ROH stopper stands in disbelief, and some are crying as Dishonored rush to the ring and mob Draper, who has not realized what has happened yet. Quinn McKay jumps into his arms and hugs him and kisses his face. I swear to God, if Brock does a fucking Edge and Lita thing and just, I swear he better not do that. That's gonna be disgusting. Deeb is next to come and hug him, with the men and next to hoist him up on their shoulders and carry him around the ring, parading him. As McKay grabs the mic and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match and new ROH champion, the greatest man to ever live, Dak Draper." Draper fully realizes what has happened when he is given the championship, and he hugs it and cries tears of joy. Dishonored with Draper makes their way up the ramp where Draper is given the mic by McKay and says, "I told you all of this would be the death of Ring of Honor and would be a death by dishonor." Deeb then hands him a sledgehammer, and he takes it right to the ROH logo in the middle of the stage. He breaks it and stands holding up both his ROH TV title and ROH championship. He looks at McKay, grabs her, and they have a massive makeout session to end the show as we fade to black hearing Kevin Kelly. Could this be the death of Ring of Honor as we know it? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, that's not what he said. That's how the show ends. So, that was Death Before Dishonor. We do have some updates to the roster. As Brock has said, some people have gone back to AEW. Quote unquote, gone back to AEW. This is just being like, Brock doesn't want to book them anymore, or he's just, done with them. So, the men's division, we have Brock Anderson, Brian Pillman Jr., Brian Johnson, Calvin Tankman, Cole Carter, Dak Draper, Dalton Castle, David Finlay, Flip Gordon, Griff Garrison, JD Drake, Jay Lethal, Joe Hendry, Jonathan Gresham, Josh Woods, Jungle Boy, or renamed to Jungle Jack Perry, Lee Johnson, Matt Sydal, Rhett Titus, Ryan Nemeth, Sean Dean, Sean Spears, Silas Young, and Tracy Williams. This is on the men's side. On the women's division, we have Anna Jay, Chelsea Green, Jenny Rose, Julia Hart, Kelly Ann, Maria Bennett, Maria Manick, Mickey James, Serena Deeb, Sky Blue, The Money, or Allie, and Tessa Blanchard. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say with Mickey James, apparently she retired, which, good for her, I guess. I mean, look at what she's done for so many years. Enjoy retirement, I think. I don't know. It was on Impact a couple of days ago where she's like, yeah, I'm retiring, technically, kind of. I don't know. I didn't really see Impact or what happened during that episode of Impact. I think it was a pay-per-view. I don't know. But either way, I guess she's retired now. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So, yeah. Your tag teams are FTR, the Briscoes, the Kingdom, the Foundation, and the newly introduced Von Erichs. It is redacted here in this photo he sent me, but since I read Death Before Dishonor, they debuted during Death Before Dishonor, and I can still kind of see it through this photo. It's still very white font. Very, still, I can still see the Von Erichs. So, yeah, the Von Erichs, and then Dishonored. It was Jack Draper, Tracy Williams, Brian Johnson, Josh Woods, Quinn McKay, and Serena Deeb. So, yeah, that's how Ring of Honor is. What will happen? What will we hear from Dak Draper next time on Ring of Honor? Find out next time on Ring of Honor. But other than that, that's going to do it for this episode of We Are Not Entertained. I promise I can't make... I don't know why I said I promise. I will more than likely definitely do... You will see me again next week. The reason why I was off almost 2 weeks is that, 1, I work 12-hour overnight shifts. 2, I usually don't work overnights. And 3, I was tired as fuck, and my sleep schedule is so out of whack. I just couldn't just record this because of how exhausted and tired I was certain days. But I hopefully will be back next week to talk about Ring of Honor and more wrestling news. You can follow me on Twitter at dude_rex14. Hey, by the way, actually, I don't know when this is going out. We do have a fantasy league, by the way. So if you want to join that, go to the Twitter page at BeatCardYT to join it. All that stuff is there for you to join it. Please join it. Also, please follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube. Make sure to ring that bell and like that. Ring that notifications bell. Smash that like button. Other than that, that's been We Are Not Entertained. May God have mercy on our souls for Ring of Honor. Goodbye. Drink water. Seriously, drink lots of water. It's been fucking hot out here in Missouri. Jesus Christ, it's ridiculous.